Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GotATek channel, where if you don't have a tech, now you do. Get easy tips and tricks on how to use tech devices and programs more efficiently. Today, we're going to talk about software, hardware, and firmware. Okay, so people ask me all the time, what's the difference between software and firmware? Why is my printer asking me about firmware? And what is hardware? I'm gonna try my best to explain it. So hardware is literally what it says it is. It's hardware. It's things like your computer, your phone, your printers, your routers, um, anything that's a physical device, something tangible that you can hold. Headphones, those things are all considered hardware. Okay, so now software. What is software? Well, software is a program that's installed on the hardware to help it to run. What is firmware? Firmware, the most simplistic way I can put it, is software for the hardware. Software that's embedded inside of the hardware. Is a specific coding to make the hardware work. So let's go over some examples. So software and firmware are both types of programs that help computers and devices work, but there are some differences, of course. Software is more referring to programs and instructions that you can install on a computer or a device to perform specific tasks. So it would include things like apps and games, word processors, web browsers, um, even your operating system. All those things are considered software. Software is usually stored on a computer or on a phone. It's stored in a cloud. You can easily update it or manipulate it and change it. So when if you use any office programs, for example, and you know how you can just go in there and click on certain things like make the text bold or make it bigger, or if you want to add shapes and inserts, all those things are a way that the user, which is the person on the other side of the screen, you and I, it makes it easy for us to manipulate it and change it to work the way we want it to work. Now, firmware is a type of software, but is specifically designed to control the hardware of the hardware or a device. It's a special kind of software that's permanently installed on the device and is not easily changed by the user unless you know how to go and go into the device and update that firmware, or unless you have an interface or probably another software program that will allow you to update the firmware for the device. The firmware is stored on a chip inside the device and helps the hardware do its job effectively and efficiently. So let's say, for example, I had a client the other day that had a message on on her printer. Actually, it kept saying it needs a firmware upgrade, and what's this firmware upgrade? So that's why I wanted to explain the difference between the two. So of course, I had to go in and download the software that would allow me to interact with the firmware of that printer. Other printers allow you to go straight to the home page of the printer via the IP address and update the firmware that way. So the firmware is the software that tells your printer or whatever hardware we're referring to. I'm just using a printer as an example. Tells your printer, hey, this is how you connect to the Wi-Fi, or this is how we connect to Ethernet. This is how this is how we program languages. Like everything that's internal to that device is stored on a chip within the device. So that's what firmware is. Maybe a better example is like if you're a gamer. So like if you play like on video consoles like PlayStation or Xbox or something like that, the software is like the games. So I don't know. I like to play what's the name of that game I play? It's an older game, but I love it. I like to play Splinter Cell or Final Fantasy. My sister is into I can't remember what she's into, but yeah, I like to play those older games. I like the first person shooter games or the role playing games. So those things are software. The games that are on your console, or if you download it from the cloud, or after you play your games, that's considered software. Now the firmware for the game is built into the hardware or the chip inside the game, and that firmware helps control the basic functions of the console, such as how you power it on, maybe connecting it to the internet, loading the game. So when you keep seeing that circle, that's what it's doing. That's what the firmware is responsible for, making sure everything runs smoothly when you play your game. And it's usually updated by manufacturer. So like I said in my other video, make sure you're doing your updates. Updates fix bugs, updates add new features. Make sure you're doing updates. So that's the differences. That's basically the differences between hardware, software, and firmware. If you're not sure how to update your firmware, you've GotATek. Just give me a call or schedule an appointment with me, and I will happily help you to update your firmware. If you need your software configured a certain way, if it's not something that I know how to do, I will find out how to do it for you, and I will help you as best as I can. Because that's my job. I'm a tech. So I just wanted to explain that to everyone. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel so you can always be up to date on the latest advice from GotATek. And don't forget to write in the comments if you would like to see more videos on this topic. All my contact information can be found in the description below, and my calendar is now posted if you would like to make an appointment to work with me one-on-one. Thanks for watching.